And speaking of hot, as in hot trading hands, Trader Monthly is out with its annual list of the top traders on Wall Street. Just who are the top guns? Well, for starters, you had to earn at least $75 million last year alone just to make the cut. And at least one person made a staggering $3 billion, more income than any trader, perhaps anyone, anywhere, has ever made in a single year. First on CNBC, senior editor Rich Blake is back. Good to see you again, Rich.
Good to be here.
This is a fascinating year. I know you have done this before, but it's a fascinating year to do this because some of the trades that got these gentlemen to this point were very complicated, and they were very big and in some cases very gutsy bets.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of John Paulson, you know, he saw this mortgage mess coming a year and a half ago, or now going on 2 years. So, that was a very prescient call, and he made a staggering amount of money because of it. And he's not the only one who made that call.
No, but he made it earlier than most, I think is fair to say.
He did.
Let's go through the list. Phil Falcone is number 2. We didn't focus on Mr. Paulson because he has been in the news before. We tried to pick some names that perhaps people know, but might not know as much about. So, Phil Falcone of Harbinger Capital, the estimated income $1.5 to $2 billion. How did he do it?
Well, he also had a short subprime play on. In addition to that, he had a monster home run in an Australian mining company, Fortescue, which I believe was up 300% on the year, and then did a 10-for-1 stock split in December. He's a distressed debt guy who a few years ago would have been known in debt trading circles, but he certainly has arrived in a big way
to say the least. Number 5 on the list is Ken Griffin of Citadel Investment Group. You say he's the judge, jury, and executioner in every single trading strategy. How common is that?
Well, in years past, we've actually left him off the list. We dubbed him some more of an operational guy. We listened to reader feedback, and people said no. Ken Griffin is heavily involved in everything that goes on there. He may not physically make the trades, but by way of his lieutenants, managing directors, he has a very hands-on role in most every trading decision. I think that is common for guys who founded their firms and have a lot of their money at stake. Other people are more hands-off. Jim Simons is starting to phase out. He has a huge team of quants. Griffin is a guy who's hands-on, we're told. Okay,
Paul Tudor Jones, who I've known, since I started in this business and, made his money in commodities, has also very much been hands-on.
Absolutely. His BVI fund made the news last summer when it was in negative territory, and that was astounding for a guy like Paul Tudor Jones, who really has been non-stop good performer for years and years. He actually had a nice second half of the year, and while he was up 7%, that was enough to make him a pretty hefty haul on his giant fund.
I want to get to Larry Robbins, who is much talked about and with much respect on the street, and he came in at number 28 of Glenview Capital. He's very young to be making this kind of money. What was his strategy? And then I want to turn it over to Dennis.
Glenview can go long and short. I believe he had a very strong bet in the wireless tower space. A company, Crown Castle International, I believe, gave him a nice return. Maybe another name in that space. He's been known to short. I think he's having another good year this year.
Okay. Hey, Rich, if you look at this list and the ones we just ran through, that Sue ran through, you got Phil Falcone betting against subprime early before everyone else. You got Larry Robbins also making a good bet on subprime. You got Ken Griffin of Citadel and B of A and E-Trade, 2 abused and abandoned stocks. It sounds like the way to make your list as a best trader is to go after areas that nobody would dare touch, no one has the courage to touch, rather than trying to be the first on a popularity trend.
I would agree with that. The way to make money is to be contrarian. But in the same vein, there are a lot of guys making money hand over fist in commodities and commodity-related stocks, which is a very popular trade, such as a mining company.
Yes, until the fire next time, my friend. Until the fire next time.
Yeah.